What's going on, everybody? We're just 3 days away, or is it 2 days away from WrestleMania? For the Reckless Wrestling Podcast, I'm Frankie C. This is Nando, and we're ready to do some WrestleMania predictions today. Nando, what's going on, man? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I haven't been excited for WrestleMania since WrestleMania 15. That's how it's crazy. That's the last time I was excited for a WrestleMania. Since
Not
then,
even WrestleMania?
huh?
WrestleMania 17? WrestleMania 18?
I wasn't
Just
super
different.
excited for it because the undercards weren't that great. I was excited for the main event, but I'm actually excited for the majority of the matches of these WrestleManias.
I don't
These
know, man. I feel like WrestleMania 17 was a stacked card. WrestleMania 18 was a stacked card. I haven't felt this way for WrestleMania since back then, like WrestleMania 19. I would say I was looking forward to that. To even WrestleMania 20. But in recent years, not so much. But maybe it was the age that you were in, where WrestleMania 15. You're talking about prime Austin, which you're wearing
That's
his
what I
shirt
mean.
right now. That was the best time. There's really no arguing that. But I don't know. I felt like that WrestleMania 15 undercard wasn't that great, but it didn't matter. That main event was amazing.
Yeah, I think it eclipsed it all. But yeah, since then, since those times, and you're right, 18, 17, but since then, it's been a long time since I was excited for WrestleMania. I was always excited for Mania, but this one is like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like the other ones were, you kind of was like 90% sure who was going to win. This one is like, you don't know. And we'll talk about that. Let's go through the matches and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and we might even talk about how Austin may be involved later on. We'll talk about everything. We'll start off though with the 6-man ladder match for both sets of the WWE tag titles. Apparently, it's going to be a case where a team takes down one set of the titles, the match continues, and then, I mean, in theory, what is the person that wins the team that wins the first set, are they still in the match so they could still win both sets? Or do you think that maybe we might have a surprise? Maybe the people that win, the team that wins the first set of the titles, they're out, and maybe we get the Dudleys, somebody come out for a nice surprise.
Maybe. And I see what you did there. In theory, does that mean Austin Theory might win it? Who knows? But
was it Theory?
I'm excited for this.
Yeah, me too. Theory and Grayson Waller are one of the teams, right? You got DIY in there. You got the New Day in there. You got help me out here.
You got
Butch.
You got the Judgment Day. You got
Butch and
yeah.
what do they call themselves?
The Geezers. Let's call them the Geezers. The Geezers
are
in there. The Geezers are in there. So look, I think it's a great match. And you listen, we've seen so many ladder matches at WrestleMania, not just tag team, just ladder matches in general. The likes of who was it? Chris Jericho and was it Shawn Michaels? Was it Jericho and
in tag team?
No. Or ladder match in general at WrestleMania. Jericho fought someone in a ladder match before at WrestleMania. You had TLC. You've had the Money in the Banks. So this one I can see, and you've got so many great wrestlers there that can do some crazy shit off a ladder. You got Finn Balor. You got Kofi Kingston. You got both members of DIY. I think it's going to be a great match. And I hope whoever wins the first set walks away. I'd hate it if one team wins both belts. I think it's time for the tag team belts to be split up.
Split up and redesigned.
Yeah.
Let's face it. They look like a bunch of oversized nickels glued onto a piece of leather.
Yeah.
They look atrocious. And, I mean, who do you see? What are the two teams that you see walking out with a set of tag titles each?
If I'm honest, I hope DIY. I think they really deserve it. DIY definitely, and I think I honestly think Austin Theory and what's his name?
Grayson Waller.
Yeah, I think that will be the surprise. I think they because I look at it now and I think the push that Vince gave Austin Theory, even to the point of winning Money in the Bank, and he didn't even win the title, and then since then he's gone downhill. I think it's time now he gets that push because even though I think on the mic he's not the best, but I think as an athlete, as a wrestler, I think he's unbelievable. I think he's a great, great, great wrestler,
He
and he
really
can be
is.
exciting. I think he'll be great as a baby face, but anyway, I think that team is going to be the surprise, and I think DIY will win it.
Yeah, I would love to see Austin Theory. Like you said, that guy, he tried cashing in the Money in the Bank for the U.S. title and lost. It's not like he tried cashing in for the world title. It just from that point that going forward, it was downhill from there. But I like him with Grayson Waller, and I like them as the SmackDown tag titles. I like DIY for the Raw tag titles. That's the right move. If Judgment Day are to maybe retain one set of the titles, that would be all right, I guess, because and we'll talk about it later. But spoiler alert, I want Rhea Ripley to remain the women's title, women's world champion. So at least that group would still hold a lot of gold, but then again, Damian Priest has that Money in the Bank briefcase, and not for nothing, I think that it's time to kind of divide the Judgment Day. At least get Balor out of there and have him move on, and get a big main event push, in my opinion. And you do that by having Damian Priest like pissed off that maybe Finn Balor didn't hold his end in the ladder match. We lost both sets of the tag titles. You know what? Screw them. I don't need them. I have this briefcase, and start drawing that wedge there with them, and eventually you can get to Balor versus Priest. And if he cashes in for the world championship, you got a program that could run. You could run for 3 months if you want between those two, but. Uh, I guess we'll move on now. Uh, the United States Championship triple threat match. Logan Paul, the champ, defending against the Viper. I was going to say the Legend Killer, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Who do you got in this triple threat match, Nando?
If they didn't announce that, I can't remember which pay per view it was that they're going to go to Cleveland. What is it, Backlash? I can't or
No,
Fastlane.
SummerSlam, I think.
SummerSlam. If they didn't announce that, I would have said Randy Orton, but I don't think they're gonna allow Logan Paul to lose this and go to SummerSlam without that belt. That's my honest opinion. I think they're gonna allow him to go to his home city as the US champion, and I think Logan Paul's gonna win it. And I think KSI will interfere and screw Randy because Randy gave him the RKO on the prime logo in the middle of the ring. So I can see KSI getting involved and screwing Randy or even Kevin, whichever one. But I can see Logan Paul retaining.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset. I'll be honest. I didn't really think I would say that, but if you really think about it, he just won the championship. When was it? Survivor Series when he won
Yeah,
that title, whatever it was, or a Crown Jewel. It was one of those. He didn't
one of
win
them.
it. Yeah, he didn't win it like that long ago. So there's still something left there for him to do with that title, opposed to what Randy Orton winning it once again. It's not like he's never been champion. Same thing for Kevin Owens. He's had the U.S. title in the past. It's not going to elevate Orton or Kevin Owens. And at that point, I think those two could just feud with each other, Orton and Kevin Owens, because they've been too buddy buddy. They've been too buddy buddy for my taste of what these two killers are supposed to be. I mean, Kevin Owens is a prize fighter, right? You're fighting
Yeah.
for a prize. You shouldn't be friendly with Randy Orton, but maybe that's building to something. Make them seem like friends, and then they turn their backs on one another or whatever. You know that they're gonna turn their backs on each other. This is a every man for themselves type of match.
Yeah, sure.
Logan retaining is reluctantly, I'm going to say it's the right call.
I agree.
So I got Logan on that too. I have to agree with you. That's 2 out of 2 that we agree on. But maybe we may not agree on this. These are 2 of my favorite wrestlers currently in the entire world. AJ Styles versus LA Knight in a marquee match, a main event, in my opinion, the real main event. This is going to be a show stealer, in my opinion, of the entire night. Who do you got for this match?
I think the only sense for this is LA Knight, because you're letting him go to his first WrestleMania. You really going to let him lose? AJ Styles is on the way out. He came back. He looks all jacked, and even though this match can be the stealer, I would have not done this match. I honestly would have done AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, and I would have had LA Knight in the triple threat match and have LA Knight win his first title in the triple threat match. I think that would have made more sense. And I think AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, that's like a today Austin versus Shawn Michaels kind of match, and it would have been a classic. But I'm happy for this match. I think it'll be one of the matches of the night, and it only makes sense for LA Knight to win. There's no point of he's got this big fan base. You want to push him. He's had already 2 title shots and he's lost them. You want to elevate him to the next level, and it's obvious that's what they want to do. Maybe he might win the next Royal Rumble. It makes no sense for him to lose at WrestleMania unless you're going to give AJ Styles a big push, which I can't see that happening. It only makes sense that LA Knight wins.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, AJ doesn't need it. It just does suck, in my opinion, that he's a victim of circumstance because he had to take the pinfall in the fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Because you couldn't beat Randy, he just came back. You didn't want to beat LA Knight again because he just lost to Roman at Crown Jewel before that for the title. So by default, AJ Styles had to take that pinfall. And unfortunately, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser. And AJ, again, falls into the losing category. Either way, I would be happy. I just would be a little more disappointed if they did LA Knight dirty a little bit in that way where he loses, even though, I mean, wins and losses don't exactly matter, but sometimes they do. But if it doesn't matter that much, then it's really not a loss for AJ Styles. I think AJ could bounce back, and you think he's on his way out, but he looks better than he ever has in his entire career, and he's still able to do everything. I think that with these wrestlers, man, sometimes, especially these days, though, like they take care of their bodies. AJ's a guy that takes care of himself. You could totally tell. And I bet you he does these cold plunges. I bet you he's doing all types of things to extend his career and to make as much money as possible. At the end of the day, it's about making money. And you work in a main event at WrestleMania like this, you're gonna make money. So I don't think he's gonna mind. I think that AJ is an old school guy. I think he believes in passing the torch and he believes in helping the younger guys. Look what he tried to do for Omos. He wasted a year or 2 of his career teaming up with this guy, trying to get him to that next level. So hopefully this gets Knight to the next level, and hopefully, But I would have liked that if like you said, if they would have switched LA Knight for Randy Orton. That would have been amazing. Randy Orton versus AJ Styles any day of the week, main event anywhere.
100%.
So
when I said on the way out, I don't mean in a sense of like his body's giving in. When I mean on the way out is I can't see AJ Styles getting a big push anymore, a title shot or becoming world champion again. So when I mean on the way out, I mean he's gonna have these kind of matches where he's gonna keep passing the torch to the next generation. That's my way of seeing like that. That's your way out, because like the same way Austin last WrestleMania, wasn't that great, and then won WrestleMania against Scott Hall. For me, that's on the way out. You go from main eventing to find Scott Hall. I think I could see that with AJ Styles. It's again passing the torch to the next generation.
That's true, and that's what pissed him off to make him walk out. Stone Cold at the time, that was like one of the final straws was that WrestleMania match. man, I could talk about WrestleMania all day, but let's keep going with this card. And by the way, everybody, this is not in any particular order. We understand there's night 1, there's night 2. Wikipedia has it out of the night 1 matches, the night 2 matches. It might not even be on WWE.com, but card subject to change. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Let's move on to the World Heavyweight Championship match, which I kind of wanted to save this for almost last, but I just want to talk about another huge match. Seth Rollins defends the World Heavyweight Championship against the amazing Drew McIntyre in front of a crowd. Drew needs to win. What do you think about this? Who do you think needs to win? And tell me it's true.
So I've been saying this for months, and even before this match was announced, and I said if Drew McIntyre gets the shot at WrestleMania, I think he's going to win. He's going to win in front of the crowd, but it's only going to last for a few seconds because I think then. No, listen. I think CM Punk is going to get into the ring. He's going to do his finisher. He's going to do his finisher on Drew, and then Priest comes in and cashes in.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's the reason
why I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Why do you have to ruin this?
No, but listen, the reason is, think about it. I've been saying this. Priest tried to cash in twice. Who was the guy that screwed Priest twice? It was Drew McIntyre. And all has led to this. He's been biding his time. You haven't seen Priest try to cash in anymore.
They want you to remember. They want you to forget.
Yeah, because even
they planted the seeds early, and they want you to forget.
Like, for example, on Raw, when Roman and The Rock beat down Seth and Cody, that could have been Priest coming down and cashed in, but he didn't. So it's an element of surprise, and I think he's waiting for Drew to win. If he wins, and then he'll pounce. And I think CM Punk will get his revenge on Drew McIntyre that way by screwing him for the world title.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with you because all the seeds have been planted. It's one of those cases where you're just hoping that it's not true. Please say it ain't true. I don't want that to be true. I don't want that to happen. Priest is not ready for the World Championship. Drew is. But I could totally see that happening, especially with Punk on commentary, like it was announced. And what a promo, by the way. That was the best segment of Monday Night Raw probably in 20 years. With CM Punk, with Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. What a segment in Chicago. Hot crowd. CM Punk feeling like CM Punk again. The slick back hair. It just felt like old times. I loved it, man. I loved it. And it's like we're getting that taste of the CM Punk that we wanted for all these years. 8-10 years ago already that we've been waiting for this. I know he was in AEW, but man, and he went off on AEW in an interview. I don't know if you've seen that, but that was amazing. A lot of great stuff coming out from Punk. Like he said, the body's not doing great right now. He's getting better, but his mouth still works. And that is the biggest tool that you need to sell tickets. And just CM Punk being on commentary, you have my full undivided attention. I'm going to be 100%. Actually listening. And, I have a party going on for night 1 with family, for night 2 with friends. And whenever that World Heavyweight Championship comes on, I guess on night 2, because I can't see him defending it on night 1 and being in a tag team match. So when that match comes on, I'm gonna tell everyone to shut the fuck up because I have to listen to CM Punk. He's gonna drop so many classic lines. I'm gonna agree with you. I think that Drew has to win this, and I think that the Bloodline may even take part in screwing him over.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But then again, you got to remember, CM Punk's got beef with Seth, so he could end up screwing Seth, and then after the match, do his finisher.
That could still definitely happen.
Yeah, so he could end up screwing both of them. Imagine you screw Seth out of the title, and then you screw Drew out of the title, so you kill two birds with one stone.
That's giving Punk too much, though. Well, actually, no, it's not giving Punk too much because the Bloodline have enough. They don't need to be costing anybody anything. But yeah, so that's really interesting. And they definitely did a better job in the past couple weeks with all these build-ups, in my opinion. Even that LA Knight and AJ Styles match. You remember what you said about Cody Rhodes and The Rock or Roman Reigns? You're like, he needs to go to his house and he needs to, follow his mom to the, to the supermarket and all that funny stuff. It's like they did that with LA Knight. LA Knight went to AJ Styles' house. I forgot to bring that up, but when that happened, man, I was thinking of you. I was like, I think WWE listened to Reckless Wrestling podcast, right here on YouTube. But yeah, I'm excited though about all those matches. And speaking of world champions, the women's world championship, Rhea Ripley, the champ, the great champion that she is, defending against Becky Lynch. Who do you got for this match?
First of all, shout out to Becky Lynch. I finished her book. Inspirational story, great book. And I'm going with Becky for this one because of, I think she won in 2019 the women's title at WrestleMania. Her WrestleMania moment to defend her title was her Money in the Bank briefcase was taken away from her because she got pregnant in 2020. And I think this is her way of coming back and having that moment of winning the world title at WrestleMania again. I think Rhea Ripley had her moment. She went to her home country, beat Nia Jax, successfully defended and retained her title in front of, thousands of Australians, made history for the first woman to do it and main event. Now, I think Becky Lynch will win, and it might even set up the match, her against Jade Cargill or her against Bianca Belair or, Naomi, who knows? But I could see Becky winning.
Well, I think for the first time in this prediction show right now, I'm going to have to fully disagree with you. Rhea Ripley, as much as, she defends it on the road, she defends it at live events, you do not really see her defend it on TV, and really not necessarily on every pay-per-view either. I think that Rhea is not even close to scraping the tip of the iceberg. I think she needs to hold on to that women's championship at least for another year, in my opinion. I mean, you talk about Becky Lynch, and I think that you have a syndrome from reading her book. She's endeared herself to you through her book, and that's why you want her to win. And yeah, we're supposed to feel that way. We're supposed to want Becky Lynch to win. But I put on my booking cap, and I'm like you just said, oh, Becky could go on and face, Naomi. She's faced her before. Oh, but she could go on and face Bianca Belair. She faced her before. Jade Cargill, fresh. Okay, that's a fresh rivalry. But Rhea Ripley has not faced Naomi. Rhea Ripley has not faced, Jade Cargill. I think she still has a lot to do with that championship. If you want to, have, I mean, I just, the Judgment Day, because she's the leader, I feel like, she's a leader, and arguably, Damian Priest kind of is. They need to hold on to what they have. They have to hold on to, their championships and everything, because if everyone else is going to lose the tag titles and all this other stuff, and if Dom's going to lose on night for his match, you need Rhea to retain this title. I think she still has a lot to do with this championship.
I would like to add, you asked me who I think will win. I never said I wanted Becky to win. I said I think Becky will win. If it was up to me, because the rumors, strong rumors, and these rumors were from last year, and they've always come true. The rumors are WrestleMania 41 is going to be Roman Reigns versus The Rock. Now, if you're going to have a massive match like this, I will let Rhea Ripley keep that. And on the same card, you have Rhea Ripley against Jade Cargill for the women's world title. Now, that will be huge. That's what I would do. But you asked me who I think is going to win. I think they love Becky, and I think they'll let her win.
Yeah, I mean, I like Becky too. She's kind of grown stale to me, though, and I just don't feel like she needs it. That's all. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't feel like she needs it. She's still great, and she's still, good at what she does, and she's one of their best women's wrestlers. So, but there's plenty of great women's wrestlers, including the women's champion, the current WWE Women's Champion, Io Sky, defending her championship against the 2024 Royal Rumble winner, a woman that has not really gotten the spotlight the way that we thought that she would have, not being on the WrestleMania poster, not being at the WrestleMania press conference. I mean, Bayley, to me, she needs to win this. What do you think?
100%. Listen, Bayley has been one of the most hardworking women wrestlers out there from day one at NXT. Even to the point that when they done the NXT invasion, the women's invasion with Stephanie McMahon, she didn't get called up with Charlotte Flair, with Becky Lynch, and with Sasha Banks, where everyone thought she would. She got told to stay behind because she was the one that was being molded into a future star. And I think it's time for her to become that star. I think it's time for her to get that push and get that opportunity and to live her dream and become women's world champion. And the thing is, it's a waste. We're winning the Royal Rumble and they don't let her win. I think they made that mistake already with Cody Rhodes last year. I think they shouldn't do that with Bayley. The issue is that the fans expect her to win. So I think her losing would be like a big shock. And you never know with WWE what can happen.
Well, this is not the Vince era anymore, and sometimes
Yeah.
predictable is a good thing. Sometimes the predictable thing is the right call. It's pro wrestling. I mean, listen, any time that you watch any movie and you're seeing the antagonist, you're seeing, you want to see the antagonist get their comeuppance. You want to see the good guy prevail, and that's the happy ending to the movie. I know that this is different because it's like the movie that never ends. It's the show that never ends. It's the stories that never end. But the stories can end in between. You know what I mean? And I think it's the right call to just have Bayley walk out with the women's championship. I didn't like Bayley when she first debuted, by the way. I didn't like her. I didn't care that she didn't get called up. She was cheesy to me. She was like a female John Cena. They wanted to, have her be, whatever they wanted her to be. I understand that wasn't her fault. Maybe she did have to do with that gimmick. I know she was one of Dusty Rhodes' proteges and all that stuff. Wasn't a fan of hers until she started really being an asshole and calling Michael Cole an idiot, and she's then I was like, all right, she's kind of a funny chick. Like, I kind of do like her. And so now she's gotten this. She's in a sympathetic role where everyone's turned their backs on her. Even Dakota Kai, which we saw that coming. I mean, we already knew that she was still teaming up with the Asian gang over there. So
yeah,
Bayley just needs to win, and that's that. I'm not a fan of this build up, though. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, man. Not everything can be perfect, but this is as good as it could be, though. I guess they're taking all the proper steps in the feud. So good luck, Bayley. But brother versus brother in the city of brotherly love. Uso versus Uso, twin versus twin, Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso. Who do you got?
Is it bad that I don't care about this match? Like, it doesn't excite me because it's not like Jeff versus Matt. It's not like Owen versus Brett. It's like, that Spider-Man meme when there's like the three Spider-Men and they're pointing at each other?
Yeah.
This is what it is. It's like the styles are similar. Everything is similar. The only difference is yeet and no yeet. That's the thing. And to me, I couldn't care less who wins. And whoever, I will make it a draw, a count out at this point. But it would be the thing that I would do. and I hope he gets involved. I will get Rikishi should have been the special guest referee for this. It would have made more sense of this. If I had to pick, I think main event Jey Uso should win. If you're gonna keep one with the bloodline and the other one's gonna be a solo wrestler to try and push on, it only makes sense for main event.
Well, you know what it is? I think that and I was laughing because I completely agree with you. I really don't care about this. It's like, when did he turn his back on him? Last year before SummerSlam or something like that? Or was it at SummerSlam? Jimmy turned on Jay, and you just didn't do anything for the longest time until finally the Royal Rumble. I don't know. I would have just kind of planted more seeds along the way. I would have, hey, listen, hindsight is 2020, though. I'm sure that they, to a lot of people, they are excited for this match. Jay, as much as he calls himself main event Jay, I don't see him as a main eventer. I'm sorry. Neither do I. I don't see Jimmy. I think that they're better as a team than they are singles competitors.
100%. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They're so. Do you know what I would have done? I don't know if you would agree with me. I would have rather Jay and John Cena versus Jimmy and Solo. I would have preferred that over this, and it would have made more sense because of the Solo and Cena. Or I would have scrapped this and made Cena versus Solo. It just
you would have just scrapped this.
It's just let's just move.
This is the payoff for the breakup, though. You know what I mean? Like, they did this big breakup angle. Two brothers, like you said, they're probably their best tag team. I know that they're the longest reigning tag team champions of all time. So in a way, it's like, okay, they have done everything together. Let me see what they could do separately. But I'm not impressed by either one of them separately. And I'm barely impressed with them when they're together. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that, I don't know. It's just, meh.
As single wrestlers, they're boring. As a tag team, they're exciting.
Yeah, but I'm not really a fan of like these guys at all. Like, even I know like the crowd's into the yeet, but it's so stupid. Yeet, no yeet. Yeet thing is even more corny than the yeet thing.
Yeah, but is good.
Yeah, it is.
Yeet.
It's a copy of but only dumb.
What?
No one says yeet, bro. Like, I guess all these fucking not even millennials. What are they? Gen X? Fucking weirdos. Gen X. That's what they call them now.
What?
No, Gen Z. Gen Z. They call them.
What?
You fucking Gen Z. I'm not even gonna say the word because we'll get kicked off of YouTube. But fuck all of you. Anyway, I don't care who wins. I'd rather Jimmy Uso win just to piss everyone off.
Okay.
No, the bad guy has to win sometimes. I feel like Jay. Let me get on a serious note here. Get my booking cap on. Main event Jay. He's done a lot. He's achieved a lot. What has Jimmy achieved? Who has Jimmy beaten? He's been a punching bag. He's been, just a fall guy in recent time. He needs the bragging rights. He needs to beat Jey Uso at WrestleMania and have those bragging rights, and always, as a heel, be able to say that he beat him. Just like Owen Hart. You want to talk about brother versus brother at WrestleMania? The greatest brother versus brother match at WrestleMania. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Owen had the bragging rights. He beat him. He can always go back to that as a heel. He can always go back to it. Same thing Paul Heyman always does. So smart. Always, as soon as Brock Lesnar broke Undertaker's WrestleMania streak, speaking of WrestleMania moments, and that was 10 years ago, by the way, Paul Heyman never shut the fuck up about Brock Lesnar breaking the streak. It was a bragging right he was able to always have and always get heat from, and I think this is that same opportunity for Jimmy.
100%.
So we spent way too much time talking about that match, but it had to be all said. We will move on to the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. I love that, man. I love Gunther with this Intercontinental Championship. He's so perfect. He's defending it against Sami Zayn in a regular one-on-one match. The story is not in the match. The story is it's not in the stipulations. It's just in these two. Can Sami Zayn get done what no one else could get done, including Chad Gable, who's been training him on the road to WrestleMania for the past week?
Nope.
Really trying to force that. We know that eventually, maybe Gable will come out there with him, or maybe he'll come out at some point of the match.
Or screw him.
And yeah, and that's what I was getting at. Like, if I can't beat Gunther, fuck you. You ain't beating him either. And you have Gunther hold on to that Intercontinental Championship only because, like, and we'll talk about, we were talking about the World Heavyweight Championship. It's like, how many guys can go for it and hold it at the same time? And if it does switch hands, I don't want it just flip flopping 100 times. And I don't want Gunther walking around without a title. He needs to hold on to, not needs to, but I would love for Gunther to retain this Intercontinental Championship. What do you think?
I think same as you. I want him to retain. I think he will retain because you discussed it before regarding Bash at Berlin. He's not going to get a title shot at Bash at Berlin. So it only makes sense that he goes to Berlin as the Intercontinental Champion. He defends it at Berlin, and he retains it. So I think it only makes sense. What do you mean?
You don't think he's going to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship in Berlin?
No,
I think because isn't it like it's an August pay-per-view? If he could go to SummerSlam, drop the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, and then as soon as he drops it, he's like, I don't even want that title. I want the World Heavyweight title, and I want it in Berlin.
Who do you know so far that fought in their country and lost? They can't let him lose at Berlin.
And no, I want him to win. I want Gunther to win the World Heavyweight title in Berlin.
Yeah, but bro, come on. Number one, they will never let Roman lose to him. Number two, they will never let Cody lose the title already to Gunther.
No. You're talking about the WWE title. I'm talking about the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, but that one, another one that doesn't make sense. Because if Drew wins, you're going to take it off him straight away after 2-3 months?
No, but Bash in Berlin is in like 5 or 6 months. And I would even have
May, June, July, August, 4 months. Yeah, but that's still, I don't know. For me, he's gonna go to Berlin as the Intercontinental Champion, in my opinion.
It could be. You never know. All I know is that I'm not hot on Sami Zayn winning. I don't care like I did last year. I would have had him beating Roman for the WWE title than beat Gunther right now for this Intercontinental title. He's really cooled off. He's really lost momentum. It's not really necessarily his fault. It's not really WWE's fault either. I mean, there's only so many slots. There's only so many things you could do with somebody. This should have been a triple threat match, like we've discussed to nausea, man. Chad Gable should have been in this match. And if he was in this match, I would have Chad Gable pin Sami Zayn to win the Intercontinental title. And at that point, Gunther would be able to say, I didn't even lose the title. You know what I mean? And even when he does lose the title, it is kind of a waste if you don't have the champion pinned, because then it's like, why was the champion for so long if you weren't going to pass the torch, give someone else that rub? And it's not going to really hurt Gunther to take a pinfall, but I don't think right now is the right time. It's not the right opponent.
I would have done Gunther versus Braun Breaker.
Oh.
Because it was meant to be Gunther versus Lesnar, so the alternative would have been Breaker. And he's young, he's hungry, he could have got that shot. Doesn't mean he would have won, but that would have been a war. That would have been an absolute war between them two.
I'm not a fan of Breaker losing. But I'll tell you what, let's just throw this bonus thing in there. There is going to be an Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We're not going to talk about it, but it's going to be on SmackDown, so it's not really going to be on this show. But you're going to have Chad Gable in it. You're going to have Braun Breaker in it. I think Braun Breaker needs to win that. I think we need to start Braun's main roster push by having him win this Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I mean, who else is going to be in it that needs to win it?
Gable.
He could, and then he could say, hey, look, I earned this. I want a shot at the Intercontinental title. and maybe get another shot against Gunther
I agree.
after that. But who knows, man? You're gonna say Chad Gable for the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I'm gonna go with Braun Breaker, and I guess we're both going for Gunther for the Intercontinental title. All right, let's move on. 6-man tag team match. There's a lot of these for some reason. The Pride, which is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. What a stupid fucking name for these guys. Why weren't they just called, Business Profits? Like Hurt
Frank,
Business.
do me a favor. I'm gonna go sleep. Just wake me up after you finish your prediction. Go ahead. It's a pointless match. It's just
you fell asleep before I even finished mentioning the teams. We got Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, the Pride, against the Final Testament. What a dumb, fucking corny name. Karrion Kross and AOP. Don't really care for this match. I mean, they've been building this for a while now, though. I'll give them that much credit. Like, it's not like this is a match that just popped up out of nowhere. I knew that it was going to be a 6-man tag match. I just expected it at Elimination Chamber, or something like that. But this being on the main card, I feel like it's going to be on a pre-show. I feel like it's going to be a pre-show match. And I don't really care who wins. I feel like the Final Testament needs the win more. But I would just have Bobby Lashley squash everyone and win. What do you think?
It just makes no sense that you're in the Elimination Chamber to get a shot at WrestleMania, and now you're in this match. You might as well put Bobby Lashley in the triple threat for the US title and made it a fatal 4-way. I would have just preferred that. This just makes no sense. Yeah, I just think Lashley's just going to squash everyone and just get his moment.
It does make sense because they've been building this, like I said. Like, they have been feuding, but this is just not stuff from a Bobby Lashley.
WrestleMania-worthy match.
Yeah, Bobby deserves a lot better than this.
Yeah,
100%. I will say that. So, like I said, I would have him just squash everybody and just, even though it's not going to do anyone any favors, but the Final Testament could definitely, Karrion Kross and AOP could definitely use the win, but what are they going to even do with that win? I just don't see them building momentum. Hopefully they do soon. Hopefully this is a match that grabs everyone's attention. But we'll move on to another 6-women tag team match. Bianca Belair teaming up with Jade Cargill and Naomi to take on Damage Control, which are the women tag team champions, and Dakota Kai. So who do you have winning this? And would you have just done a match for the tag team titles instead, since the women's tag team champions are in this match, or at least have the titles on the line somehow? Like, I don't know. Doesn't really make me care for this. Why wouldn't the titles be on the line at WrestleMania? Who do you got winning?
Well, it's obviously going to be Belair, Cargill, and Naomi. You can't sign a superstar like Jade Cargill and she loses her first WrestleMania match. It just makes no sense. So yeah, I think they're just gonna squash Damage Control, and they're each gonna probably do their finishers on one person, taking turns, and that's it.
They can't squash the champs. That would suck. I know what you're saying, but I would not have them squash the tag team champions. But I would have Jade Cargill get the pinfall.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and have Dakota Kai take the pin because she's not one of the women's tag team champions. So you have her, and she's not part of the Asian persuasion there. You know what I mean? She's the only gringo in that group. So maybe have her start to part ways with Damage Control. But I could see Jade Cargill with her foot over Dakota Kai's chest and getting the 1, 2, 3.
I agree.
And that's going to be that. I just feel like, because I said, if they don't have Bianca Belair against Jade Cargill, and I said this as soon as she signed, I was saying this. If they're not going to have Jade Cargill versus Bianca Belair for the women's championship at WrestleMania, I said they should be teaming up. And I don't know if I mentioned it in a few episodes back, but I would have had them as a team. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair go for those tag titles, win the tag titles, and then by next year you have them split. Have them add prestige to those titles. And Jade should be in a tag team to learn from Bianca, and to hide her weaknesses in the ring. She can learn a lot from her. I'm telling you, like if they work together as a tag team, it would definitely improve her in the long
I
run.
agree.
And have them hold on to those women tag titles until, have them both in the Rumble, have them both still the champions, and have one eliminate the other. And I would have Jade Cargill eliminate Bianca, and then maybe at Elimination Chamber have them drop the tag team titles, and then Jade turns on her. Maybe have Bianca be the one that loses, and Jade gets pissed off, and that's her final straw. You plant seeds along the way, but I mean, whatever. That's a whole different story. That's a whole different ball game of booking. They're just trying to get as many people on the show at this point, in my opinion, which is
Yeah.
why they're doing all these six-man tag team matches, including. Actually, this is not a six-man, but this is another tag team match. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. You got the LWO, and what do you think of this match? Would you have just done a one-on-one match once again? Ray versus Dom 2. That would have been so much better than this. This just feels like
The thing is, Ray and Dom haven't had nothing for months. It just made no sense. I would have just done Rey Mysterio versus Escobar. That's it. There's no need to put Dom in it. They had no big, like, maybe Dom could interfere and they could set up a match at SummerSlam, but Dom's been doing his own thing for months. He hasn't had nothing to do with Ray for months. It just makes no sense. And we all know what's going to happen in this match. Like, you saw already Carlito's face when he introduced Dragon Lee. So Carlito is going to turn heel. He's going to he's going to do the backstab on Ray. Dom's going to get the pin, and that sets up Carlito and Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam. Like, you saw it. Everyone saw Carlito's face. Number one, in the ring when he introduced Dragon Lee, and then when they were in the back and they were talking about it, you saw Carlito, like, his face is like, what the fuck? It should have been me. So that's
yeah.
the seeds have been planted there. So I think for me, Escobar and Dirty Dom are going to win.
Yeah, Dom needs to just win, and I would just have him beat Dragon Lee. But I feel like it's WrestleMania. It's supposed to be happy endings. I feel like Ray, the Hall of Famer, and Dragon Lee, who's probably being groomed to be the next Rey Mysterio, which is why they're having them work together, which is a great call. Definitely, they're looking out for their future, as well as displaying these Hall of Famers, these legends that they have. This is a golden time for the WWE right now. I love it. But they have had, and before we get to the main event, because the main events are just too big, I don't want to follow it with anything. But we were talking about Braun Breaker before, and to me, he should have been spotlighted in our fantasy match for this week. We discussed having Goldberg, who has been wanting his retirement match, has been asking for it, even called Vince an asshole about it and all this stuff. Why didn't they take this opportunity? It's WrestleMania 40. Goldberg wants a retirement match. Give him a retirement match. Braun Breaker says that he has the best spear in the WWE. He keeps saying it. It would have been the perfect opportunity. I wouldn't even be mad if Goldberg came out on SmackDown tomorrow and was like, hey, Braun Breaker, you're next. And I'm retiring after this match. And Braun Breaker just retire him. What do you think about this fantasy match? And how would you book it? And who would you have win it?
Well, if it's Goldberg versus Braun Breaker, it makes no sense for Breaker to lose.
Yeah.
But then it makes no sense for Goldberg to lose his final match.
Oh, yeah, it does. You're passing the torch. You're passing the torch. You don't have to win your final match. If anything, old school wrestlers lose in their final match.
But who? Apart from Mick Foley, who's lost in their final match? Taker won, Sting won. You've had traditionally, but
Goldberg, yeah.
But if you're Goldberg, would you want that?
Kurt Angle? Look, Baron Corbin beat Kurt Angle. Where the fuck is Baron Corbin? He beat Kurt Angle. He retired him. Where the fuck is he? He's on NXT. He was teaming up with Braun Breaker. Are they still the tag team champions in NXT? I don't even know. But a guy like Baron Corbin deserves so much better. Fuck, if you want, you could even have this match right here and have Corbin be pissed that Braun is about to retire Goldberg and have him cost him the match. But I wouldn't even do that.
Isn't Baron Corbin in TNA?
No, Baron Corbin's on NXT. And he teams up with Braun Breaker. They're like the NXT Tag Team Champions.
But that was a while back. I swear he went to TNA after that.
No. Baron Corbin is fully in WWE. He needs to come back to the main roster. But what I would do is I would have Braun Breaker retire Goldberg, and you have Baron Corbin come back to the main roster. Have them keep teaming up. Have them keep working together. Have Braun Breaker win that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But I would have him retire Goldberg, and then they can. Because they kind of like they were feuding at one point and then they teamed up, but they're very competitive still. And it's like anything you could do, I could do better kind of thing. Corbin showed up on his motorcycle and Braun Breaker had to show up on this dope ass chopper too. You know, it's like they're going tit for tat. You know, it's like a dick measuring contest with those two. And I think that they could have been dick measuring about this right here. Hey, I retired Kurt Angle. Well, I retired Goldberg. And, you know, like, you could have really continued that onto the main roster, but I would have Braun Breaker in a quick match too. I'm talking 5 minutes tops. 5 minutes tops. Beat Goldberg and retire him. And Goldberg gets to retire. He wanted his retirement match. He never said that he wanted to win it. And it pushes Breaker. It gives him a good rub. You beat a legend. You retired a Hall of Famer. That's all you need to know.
If that's going to happen, he needs Paul Heyman in his corner, and we all know Paul Heyman's going to be his next manager after Roman Reigns. So,
well, speaking of Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman, who do you think? What do you think of Roman Reigns inducting Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame? I hate it.
Stupid, absolutely stupid. It makes no sense.
It's what a shit call.
Yeah.
CM Punk, you have CM Punk. Why wouldn't you have CM Punk induct this man?
Yeah.
You know, at the very least.
In Philadelphia, you're not going to have anyone from ECW induct you in. People know you more for ECW than being Roman Reigns' manager. We got to be real here.
Well, Paul Heyman has worked with the Anoa'i family dating decades ago, but it's not like that was his biggest time of his career. I think that if anything, he's worked with maybe Brock the longest out of anyone, like, you know, straight. He worked with Brock Lesnar longer than he owned ECW. You know what I mean? Think about that. So yeah, ECW is a big. What's that?
Brock can't come. He can't make an appearance in WWE right now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't have Brock Lesnar go out there and induct him. He's not really a talking guy. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, you know, Roman. He hasn't even been with Roman as long as he has with Brock. And Brock, it's not like Brock's inducting him, and I wouldn't have Brock induct him, but I would have a CM Punk induct him, or, you know, like I was saying, Tommy Dreamer, you know, who's a great speaker. But hell, I mean, if that's his choice or if that's their choice, they want to have Roman. Hell, you know what? I hope that it's a great speech. I hope that it's a good induction, and I don't expect anything less than perfect from Paul Heyman. I'm glad he's going in. So, you know, you can't get everything you want, but at least we got that, as well as a whole bunch of other inductees that we spoke about in the previous episode. You go back to the archives for that one, but it's main event time, and we'll start with the night one main event, the main event tag team match, which has Paul Heyman, that he will be at ringside with the man inducting him into the Hall of Fame, the WWE champion, the undisputed champion, Roman Reigns, holds the championship for 3.5 years at this point, teaming up with his superstar cousin, TKO board member, the final boss, The Rock, to take on the number one contender, the back-to-back Royal Rumble winner himself, Mr. Cody Rhodes, the Nightmare himself, teaming up with the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins. What do you think about this tag team match? What do you think of this build? What do you think of the past couple weeks on Raw? Cody getting an ass whooping from The Rock out in that parking lot in the rain, bloodied up. Then they're on Raw, the Bloodline, The Rock, Roman Reigns on Raw, kicking the crap out of both of them, whipping them with belts, going absolutely ape shit. They have been taking everything and giving nothing. What do you think of this build so far?
When this match was first announced, I wasn't happy, but the way it's been building, I love it. The final boss is the best Rock character of all time. It's just unbelievable. The entrance, I love it. That is one of the greatest WWE entrances ever. The Thunder, and he comes in. He's like fucking Thor, bro. I love it. But
Yeah.
he's gonna win. I think Roman and The Rock is gonna win. Um, and it makes sense because you're gonna get people to interfere, and we'll talk about that with the other main event. But I just think it makes more sense that Roman and Rock win. One, Roman's not gonna get pinned. We know that. Two, The Rock's not gonna get pinned. He's not gonna come back and be pinned. We gotta
Yeah,
be
you're the
real.
final boss. If you with the name the final boss, you can't be getting pinned.
Yeah,
Not
and
yet.
and Roman's not gonna get pinned. So
Right.
I think Seth's gonna be pinned, in my opinion. And
Ooh.
I wouldn't even be shocked if Drew McIntyre gets involved and screws Seth.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wouldn't
I
be
can
shocked
see
with
that.
that. So I
Yeah.
think the bloodline wins.
I think that it would Drew interfering would definitely help because now at that point it's not like he lost clean. You know the bloodline is going to play it clean either way in this tag team match. Especially with the Rock's antics lately. Paul Heyman. I mean, just the bloodline. That's just the way that they always been. You know, they're constantly interfering in matches. It's the same old story with them. I don't expect anything less in this match, but damn, I I I, I could definitely see that. And you know what? You're right. It does make sense that the bloodline would win because why else would they be teasing? Oh, night two could be bloodline rules, something that you've never even heard about. Bloodline rules. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Now it almost kind of makes you like, oh, I want to see this bloodline rules. What is this bloodline rules? I want to see chaos break out. And it's like I don't feel like Cody and Seth need to win this match. I just don't like the idea of Seth being pinned because he's the world champion. But I don't want Cody to be pinned either. And
Exactly.
if it is going to help build for Drew McIntyre versus Seth, which is the real main event for Seth, the real important match for Seth for his character and everything, then yeah, I mean, take the pinfall on night one, but he's gonna have to take the pinfall on night two, though. You know, two losses in a row, but it's like Seth's been undefeated since winning that world heavyweight title, since the tournament for it. So, and even before that. So,
What if the bloodline win by DQ?
oh, that would be shit, bro.
Yeah, but it saves anyone getting pinned.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah, but
You know that would suck.
you don't want any of them to be pinned.
No, I'd rather Seth be pinned than
Yeah, of course.
a DQ ending or. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. It will definitely protect everyone. Yeah, if you want to protect everyone, yeah. But I guess wins and losses don't really matter, especially in a tag team match. It's not like this is for any titles. Seth
Yeah.
should, and you know what? It would further the story with Cody and Seth too, because it's like Seth was supposed to be there for Cody, and he still couldn't keep his end of the bargain up, which is something that if they feud again down the line, they could bring this all up again.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
you know, hey, even though you were the champion, you know, I was the real champion. I was going on all these talk shows. You see Cody doing mainstream media all week this week, you know, on all these TV shows, promoting morning shows. He's the real champion. We know that. So Cody can always go back to that and say, hey, I was the real champion around here even before I won the title. You were the world heavyweight champion and you still lost our tag team match. And then I had to overcome, because of your loss, I had to overcome the bloodline on night two. But speaking of that, and I do hope that it is bloodline rules, because the WWE Undisputed Championship, Roman Reigns defending the championship against Cody Rhodes. This is the rematch from last year from WrestleMania 39, the stupid, unnecessary turn in events from last year. I mean, it's arguable that now Cody's hotter than he was last year, but he was hot going into that anyway. They should have just pulled the trigger. This has to be Cody Rhodes' night. This has to be the night that Cody Rhodes wins. Because if he does not win, he might as well go and fucking put rings together and disassemble the rings and be a road agent or go be a janitor and mop the toilets for every WWE event going forward. This is not an option. Cody Rhodes needs to win. He needs to, for the love of fucking God, finish the story. I'm tired of hearing about this story. It's most of the reason why I want him to win is because I'm fucking sick of hearing about it. What do you think about this match? What do you think of the build? Who do you think should win?
I think Roman's going to win.
You motherfucker.
I'm kidding. I think Cody will win. I think The Rock, either it's an accident or on purpose, screws Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are going to get involved. Now the question is, who's going to save Cody? So you get Solo, you get Jimmy, you got Roman, you got The Rock, and then you got Cody, you got Seth, you got Jay. But who's going to be the fourth guy? Is it going to be Triple H? Is it going to be Austin? Is it going to be John Cena? No one knows. But I think Triple H will come in. I don't care about this pacemaker shit. I don't care about his heart. He's going to, even if I have to die in the ring, damn it, I'm the game. I am the game. And he's going to come and save them. He's going to give a fucking pedigree to everybody. Spit water out everywhere. And then walk back. And then be ready for his press conference afterwards. But I think Cody will win.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you. I think that for sure you have Jay to counter Jimmy. You should have John Cena, who was decimated by Solo at Crown Jewel, and you haven't seen John Cena ever since. Cena says that he's free for the night. You have John Cena come out and counter Solo Sikoa's interference. And then you have The Rock, of course. And you could have Seth come out there, but I would destroy Seth. I would have the Bloodline destroy Seth after his World Championship loss. Destroy him because they have to get rid of this problem. They know about Seth potentially interfering, especially if the Bloodline interfere in the World Heavyweight Title match. They're going to want to take Seth out to prevent him. This is strategic, and you have the wise man who should know better. They take Seth Rollins out, and now they're like, you know what? Even if Jay comes out there, he's not a problem. Cody is basically by himself. He doesn't have Seth anymore. But they don't know about John Cena arriving to the arena. They don't know about potentially Stone Cold Steve Austin, that glass breaking, and he comes out to counter his biggest rival, like we were talking about in the beginning of the show, from WrestleMania 15, WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 19, Stone Cold versus The Rock. That was the hottest feud, the hottest rivalry of the Attitude Era, period, bar none. And I think that you revisit that one more time, and it's not to steal the spotlight, but it is to counter, because how do you have the final boss, The Rock, the Brahma Bull, the biggest star in Hollywood? Who's going to beat this final boss? Cody is not doing it on his own either way. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make sense. Stone Cold Steve Austin is your answer. Stone Cold Steve Austin has to come out. That glass needs to break, and he needs to come out there, open up a can of whoop-ass on The Rock only. I wouldn't have him stun Roman Reigns. I wouldn't have, matter of fact, anyone touch Roman Reigns except for Cody Rhodes, because I want Cody to still say he did it on his own. I want these guys like a John Cena, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we've seen it in the production truck in the background as The Rock was whooping Cody's ass in the rain, bloodying him up. You texted me the picture of John Cena and Stone Cold on the truck. Look, it's an Easter egg, right before Easter, and it's like I knew as soon as I was watching that, I was like, everyone's gonna fucking think that this is an Easter egg. But the way that they do it now, it's like, yeah, that it is an Easter egg. They did it for Bray Wyatt, that whole build up. They had Easter eggs all over the place. So I would not be surprised at this point if that is an Easter egg. And matter of fact, I invite it, and I hope that it's true. And Cody Rhodes, at the end of the night, has to have his hand raised. Roman Reigns needs to no longer be the champion. And it needs to be where Roman can still possibly blame The Rock for the loss,
Yeah.
or you have it where The Rock is pissed at Roman for losing the title. And that's where you can start their split to build for their match next year. Like you said, WrestleMania 41. That's the biggest match you can do. And it's not for a title, so now it's not going to be predictable. Now, either way, anyone can win. And I'm sure we'll have predictions at that time. But for now, I'm going to predict this. And we're both predicting this. I think we've had all the same picks pretty much for this entire card. But it's just it's just our book. We have our booking caps on. What makes sense? What's logical to happen? I wouldn't be surprised if there's curveballs thrown along the way between night 1 and night 2, but it's not like a Vince type of thing where Vince is just a shit. He's like we know how he is with shit, but he likes to disturb everything. He just likes to rattle the cage, just to piss everyone off. And a lot of times it felt like it was like a fuck you to the fans is the easiest way for me to put it.
100%.
Triple H isn't really the type to have those fuck you fan moments because he actually appreciates us, which is why you got to have faith in H, and which is why we love him. He's the greatest thing to happen to WWE. The what?
He's the game.
Bro, he really has lived up to that name, and I don't care what anyone says. He is the game. He is the greatest. This is the best WrestleMania that we've had in recent times. And
that's why I said to you, like, this is the first WrestleMania I've been excited since 15. Like, it's just too good. And let me just add as well, and this is for the people our age and above. The moment you started giving your prediction, the moment you mentioned Austin, I don't think I heard a single word you said, because you know what was playing in my mind? The Limp Bizkit song was just playing over my head the whole time. Because you mentioned 15, and that is the greatest WrestleMania song of all time, that one. And
WrestleMania 17 was with My Way.
Well, 17, whichever. It doesn't matter. That is the greatest WrestleMania theme song of all time. And
listen, bro, it's on my workout list. That song gets me so
too.
pumped, so amped to this day.
Me too. 100%.
I can't listen to that song without associating it with WrestleMania 17.
That's it. Only wrestling fans can do that, bro.
Yeah. I mean, any match, any song that has ever been affiliated with wrestling, it's like you can really put that on your gym playlist and be amped and be pumped up. I'm going to actually be doing some WrestleMania workouts this weekend as well. I want to try to take some workouts because, like I said, Celtic Warrior workouts. Great, he works out with a whole bunch of different wrestlers. Take a little bit of each wrestler and create a small little 45-minute workout. I'm so amped for WrestleMania. This is gonna be so much fun, man. And I guess we're gonna do a WrestleMania review episode. Maybe we could do it. We'll group WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and the Raw After Mania. We could do that. But I guess we'll see the way it goes. Do you have anything else you want to add to this?
If Roman wins, I'm retiring from the Reckless Wrestling podcast. You'll never see me on. You'll never see me on this screen again.
You know what? I will raise you. I see your call there, and I'm going to raise you here. If Roman Reigns wins, this podcast is over, and so is my wrestling fandom. I will not watch wrestling ever again. I don't give a fuck how hot it is. I'll probably watch it again, but we're wrestling fans. We're liars.
That's it. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. That's for sure. No matter what.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. We have gone overtime. We love you guys. Thanks for listening, and we will see you on the next one.
Come on, Cody.
Peace out. What?
Let's go, Cody.
Okay, that's what I thought. See you guys.